Hey everybody, it's the Healthy Gamer. So I'm going to be showing you the build I use for my 58 Monk. I've been soloing in Hell very successfully with him, up to Act 3 now. So the point of the build is to generate lots of spirit and then have lots of avoidance. So you're trying to maximize your spirit and then stay alive, because it's critical to try to stay alive in Hell. You'll still die a few times to standing in fire and laser beams, but it's much more manageable than other builds I've tried. Alright, so I'll show you the build, and then I will show you the build in action. Alright, so the primary, the key abilities for this build are Lashing Tail Kick. I have it ruined out for the stun one, 1.5 second stun, 50% chance of that. I'm using Dashing Strike. I have it ruined out, so I receive 20% dodge for 3 seconds every time I use it. Serenity is pretty important. It's like your oh shit button. You pop it, and a lot of times I like to pop it too if I'm running into mobs that are molten, so I'll just run in, stand in fire, pop it, do 4 seconds of damage, run out. And I have it ruined out, so it makes me invulnerable for 4 seconds instead of 2. Now my spirit generating abilities, I have Sweeping Wind, where when I have 3 stacks I gain 3 spirit per second. I'm using my Mantra of Healing, which also is giving me 3 spirit per second. And the thought process behind this is, in Hell, a lot of times you're going to run across elite mobs that you need to run away from and kite around, and this Mantra of Healing is just really nice to keep you up, and then generating spirit still while you're not necessarily in melee range attacking them because you're running away trying to survive. Okay, so Transcendence is very key. Generate, you're getting life every time you spend spirit, and you'll see that in action and how well it works. Chant of Resonance, again, just a little more spirit. And then Resolve, enemies deal 25% less damage. Now your primary ability is not as important. I like to use Way of the 100 Fists because it attacks fast and it has more chances to crit, so that my Sweeping Wind stacks can go up faster. And your passive skills, Transcendence is really key. Resolve you can change around. Chant Resonance you can change as well if you find that you're not having trouble with your spirit. Same thing with Mantra of Healing, you can change your mantra to something else. You can play around. These 3 might be too much. You can choose maybe do a different mantra, do a different passive, do a different Sweeping Wind, or different, thing for that slot. But the keys are that stun is critical on Lashing Tail Kick, and the heal is critical here. Dashing Strike, that dodge is really invaluable, and it just helps you so much to close in with all these different packs. So now I will just show you the build in action, and you can see for yourself how it does. Alrighty, now you can see the build in action. I activate Sweeping Wind when I start off a fight. That's giving me 3 spirit per second as long as I have 3 stacks up, and you gain stacks by critting. So that's why I use Way of the 100 Fists, because you attack so many more times, so that gives you a much higher chance to crit and maintain your stacks on Sweeping Wind. You can see with these elites I'm doing a bit of kiting. I'm using that Dashing Strike to go in and out of combat. It's also giving me that passive 20% dodge. Well, I guess it's not really passive, but every time I use it I gain 20% dodge for 3 seconds, and that's really helpful especially with elite mobs. I'm also using my Lashing Tail as my spirit dump. It does pretty good damage. It stuns them for 1.5 seconds. Well, it has a 50% chance to stun for 1.5 seconds, and then it's also healing me. You can see when it's down to like 1 mob, I don't have any trouble just standing in there, fighting, and healing myself up to full. Now, another good thing with this build is if I get in a lot of trouble, I can pop my healing mantra, which heals me for that 50 spirit heal, and then it also does 1,000 per tick for 3 seconds. So you have a lot of different skills available when you get in trouble. You can pop your 4-second invulnerability, you can spirit dump with Lashing Tail Kick to stun them and also heal yourself. You can use your dashing strike to get out of the fight. I like that a lot. If you're surrounded by enemies, you can use dashing strike on a mob that's towards the outside of the pack and usually get out of there. Okay, and here is your healthy tip. Rather than snacking on junk food like chips and cookies, you should instead eat nuts. Almonds, peanuts, mixed nuts, they're all great options, and they will lead to a much better body composition than snacking on all the processed junk that gamers usually eat. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Hit subscribe because I will be uploading more videos of my Diablo 3 playing and giving you more tips on how to be a hardcore gamer but still be healthy.